The town was quiet that evening, the kind of silence that presses against your chest and makes you feel the weight of your own footsteps. A girl named Anaya walked alone down the narrow lane, her shadow stretching long under the dim streetlights. She had always been the kind of person who carried her world inside her, books, thoughts, and dreams, but lately loneliness had become her closest companion. Her parents worked far away, her friends had drifted into their own lives, and she felt invisible in a place that once felt like home. That night, she wasn't just walking. She was searching for what she didn't know, maybe a sign, maybe someone who would notice. As she turned the corner near the old library, she stumbled. Her ankle twisted, and she fell hard against the pavement. Pain shot through her leg and tears welled up, not just from the injury, but from the exhaustion of carrying herself through life alone. Before she could gather herself, a voice broke the silence. "Are you okay?" She looked up. A boy stood there holding a small bag of groceries. His name was Arif, though she didn't know it yet. His eyes carried a warmth that felt unfamiliar, like sunlight after days of rain. "I'm fine," she muttered, embarrassed, but her ankle throbbed and she couldn't rise. Without hesitation, he set his bag down and offered his hand. "Here, let me help." Something in his tone, gentle yet firm, made her trust him. He helped her to a nearby bench, checked her ankle, and even offered his water bottle. "You should rest for a while," he said. "I can walk you home after." Anaya hesitated. She wasn't used to kindness, but there was no judgment in his eyes, only concern. They sat together for a while, the silence between them softer than the one she had carried alone. Arif spoke first. "You know, I walk this lane every evening. I've seen you before, always alone, always lost in thought." She blinked, surprised. "You noticed?" "Of course," he smiled. "It's hard not to notice someone who seems like they're carrying the weight of the world." His words pierced her heart. For the first time, she felt seen. As they talked, she learned he was a student preparing for medical exams, juggling responsibilities but still finding time to help his neighbors. He wasn't extraordinary in the way stories often paint heroes, but his kindness was rare, and that made him remarkable. When she finally stood, leaning on him for support, she realized something. Loneliness doesn't always end with grand gestures. Sometimes it dissolves quietly when someone chooses to care. Walking home beside him, she felt lighter. The streetlights no longer seemed so dim, and the silence no longer pressed so heavily. At her door, she thanked him. "You didn't have to stop, but you did. That means more than you know." He shrugged, smiling. Sometimes helping someone else is the easiest way to help yourself too. That night, Anaya lay awake, replaying the moment. She realized that life isn't about waiting for someone to rescue you. It's about allowing yourself to be open when help arrives. Arif hadn't solved her problems, but he had reminded her that she wasn't invisible. In the days that followed, they crossed paths often. Sometimes they walked together, sometimes they just exchanged a smile. Slowly, Anaya found herself speaking more, laughing more, and even daring to dream again. The girl who once walked alone had found a companion, not in the romantic sense, but in the deeper truth that human connection is what keeps us alive. Months later, when Arif left for his exams in another city, Anaya stood at the station to see him off. She wasn't sad. Instead, she felt grateful. His presence had taught her something invaluable. Even a brief encounter can change the course of a lonely life. As the train pulled away, she whispered to herself, "I'm not alone anymore. I carry his kindness with me." And with that, she walked back through the same lane, her shadow still long under the streetlights. But this time, she wasn't searching. She had found what she needed: hope.
Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this to your loved one so they can claim victory on negativity.